Graff, Jr., on the southwest corner of 7th and Market Streets in Philadelphia. He initially felt out of phase with the other delegates. They were speaking of matters he had missed while he had been in mourning at Monticello. But he soon found himself at the center of everything. At the end of the first week of June 1776, Richard Henry Lee of Virginia moved that the United Colonies were absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. At last, the hour of decision was at hand. The debate over independence began the next day. Congress was not chiefly concerned about the rights of man, or even the shape of an American polity. History's trumpets were sounding, but only in the distance. The clatter that dominated the Pennsylvania State House in Philadelphia was about domestic politics and international relations at their most practical. Some representatives argued that a precipitous declaration of independence might provoke some, if not all, of the middle colonies, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and New York, to secede from the American cause. If there were such a domestic crackdown, Jefferson argued, foreign powers would either refuse to join themselves to our fortunes, or, having us so much in their power, they would insist on terms proportionately more hard and prejudicial. John Adams, Richard Henry Lee, George Wythe, and others marshaled the evidence in favor of declaring independence. First, they noted that no gentleman had argued against the policy or the right of separation from Britain, nor had supposed it possible we should ever renew our connection. That they had only opposed its being now declared